You know, the country's in a hell of a situation. You can turn on any news channel on the television, and you will undoubtedly hear about the doom and gloom of the American economy. Money's getting tighter and tighter every year for every home and institution in the country, and we're all feeling the hurt. And every state finds itself in its own personal debt crisis these days. Public education always finds its way onto the chopping block in these situations. And it's our music programs, sadly, that get slashed first. It's come to the point, it's gotten so bad these days that an elementary level music class is something of a myth anymore. That's a real shame, and its effects are falling on the heads of our country's children. That's the true atrocity. That's what we'll have to cope with. And you know, these cuts are happening for a number of reasons. But the fact of the matter is that the music programs are being just drastically slashed across America because we don't fully appreciate what a good music program can do for our students. Now, I'm not at all saying that Americans don't appreciate music education at all. In fact, a recent Gallup poll showed that 95% of Americans believe that, quote, music is a key component in a child's well-rounded education. 80% even believed that studying music makes a participant, quote, smarter. But it's when boards and administrations look at their budgets, it always boils down to money. They have an order of importance that just does not place the arts very high. As a country, despite our knowledge, we've largely set into this concept, a value system, where we hold the importance of some subjects in our public education systems over our music programs. I'm talking about algebra, calculus, chemistry, biology, your hard sciences, if you will. And our funding reflects those views. The No Child Left Behind Act has persisted those values for years now. Its examinations test some public schools in specifically math and reading categories. As a result, many districts choose to prioritize math, sciences, and reading over arts, and will in many cases neglect the fine arts programs completely if they deem their situation dire enough. Many districts cite, claims of low funding or government cutbacks as the economy's just been so terrible. They have no extra money to waste on fine arts programs. They try, in a sense, to get the most bang for their buck by focusing funding specifically on those worthy subjects that produce those quantitative results. Now, I can understand the times are really tough these days, and stretching those state dollars is getting harder and harder every year. I'm paying my way through college. God knows I know how hard it is to make money last. And no one knows this more than our government officials. Just this year, Governor Kasich of Ohio proposed a state budget that would slash education by $1.3 billion over just 2 measly years. And this will, in many cases, manifest itself through job loss. And historically in Ohio, and in, sadly, many states across America, music is the first to go. Our education system largely believes that music education, a solid fine arts program, is something that we can live without if we absolutely need to, and that it's not as important as those hard sciences. I would argue to you all that the arts and the sciences are equals, that music holds just as much educative value as those hard sciences, and funding it for the districts can even prove to save money. Now, one of the beautiful things about my job here today is that the fact that music benefits the mind and the body, it's not a hard argument to make, and research is not at all difficult to find to support it. In fact, in my own private research, I've found so many studies and findings to support me that if I were to present them all to you today, we'd easily be here all day long. So I've managed to pick out just a few that will really help me get my points across. First, I've discussed this growing misconception that has led to music's gradual disappearance in education, that is, essentially, music is viewed as inferior to those subjects that are nationally tested and quantified, such as math and reading, we'll say. So, to this I thought, Wouldn't it be great if I could show you all how this isn't true, but do so with my own quantified data that I've found? Fight fire with fire.
Sure enough, I discovered research conducted by the College Entrance Examination Board from Princeton. They came to this conclusion. Students with coursework or experience in music performance and music appreciation scored higher on the SAT. Students in music performance scored 57 points higher on verbal, 41 points higher on math, and students in music appreciation scored 63 points higher on verbal, 44 points higher on math. This is, of course, in comparison to students with no arts appreciation. Another finding in comparative academic studies revealed that of 7,500 university students, music majors scored the highest reading scores among all majors, including biology, chemistry, math, and ironically, English.
Many researchers believe that this link between the fine arts and math lies in music's ability to promote the growth of spatial temporal concepts, or basically proportional reasoning, as music's rhythmic qualities often require a student to subdivide beats or count rhythms and complex patterns. The repetition of these concepts is believed to promote such growth. As far as reading and linguistics, anyone who has ever seen a piece of sheet music can tell you that it is written in its own language. Learning to understand and execute an entirely new lexicon of terms and symbols is believed to increase your overall understanding of languages in general. Studying music advocates development of social skills and self-esteem as well. Research has concluded that prolonged individual performance of an instrument results in a betterment of emotional intelligence. As students begin understanding how emotions are voiced in music, they often form deeper understandings of how emotions are presented in the human voice, which can lead to an increase in social skills and understanding.
A study done by Arizona University on musical groups found that subjects reported that performing in an ensemble helped them to experience positive feelings about themselves and provided them with achievable goals that contributed to feelings of personal satisfaction and well-being.
The act of practicing and performing music in an ensemble allowed these students, and many other students around the world just like them, establish a higher sense of self-esteem through their socialization and self-expression. Now mind you, it should be noted that when students feel better about themselves and happily interact with each other, that's not just a pat yourself on the back scenario. The positive effects of higher morale in a school environment are innumerable. Happy, self-motivated students learn better, live healthier, and most importantly, they behave better. Which brings me to my next point. Discipline and order are completely necessary aspects of the education system. However, they've proven to be rather expensive. To hire disciplinary staff when a school's population seems to act up more than usual means to add even more salaries to an already tight budget. To train existing teachers to handle new situations translates to resources and time. But when behavior in a school truly does take a turn for the worse and becomes a problem, action must be taken regardless. Coincidentally, music students, when playing in ensembles, learn to work effectively in group systems. And as every member of each ensemble knows, they work towards a collaborative results. A sense of discipline and responsibility is instilled in each student. Playing individually, as I've discussed before, helps develop a better understanding of emotional expression and can possibly help avoid altercations. Essentially, it is a much cheaper alternative to keep existing music educators rather than hiring disciplinary staff or training the rest of the school's faculty. And as long as we're talking about saving money, why not consider those academic benefits we've previously discussed as well? See, this is the irony that kills me in today's education system. Spend half an hour online and you'll learn that the internet is bursting with research supporting music's benefits in math, science, and reading skills. But we always end up cutting our music programs in favor of math, science, and reading classes. It's a very ironic flaw in the education system, but it'll take a lot of work to reverse. And I can only really leave you with this.
Shinichi Suzuki was a famous violinist and music educator who held that children deserved to learn music, and any child could do so if given the right teaching. He was quoted in saying, "Teaching music is not my main purpose. I want to make good citizens. If children hear fine music from the day of their birth and learn to play it, they develop sensitivity, discipline, endurance. they develop beautiful hearts.
Suzuki saw the untapped potential in musical training, and furthermore, he realized that we owe it to our children at the very least to provide for them the opportunity to explore the world of music. And none of that can be achieved without music educators in our school systems. So I ask you all today, contact your congressman, support your local schools, help provide our community's children with the incredible opportunity that learning music can be, and realize that music's importance and its role in the educational process has just so much untapped potential. As the next future parents of this country, let us be the generation to help music secure the place in our education system that it has earned.
Thank you.